Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sorry for the wait. Welcome for our very first community stream, cleverly named. We wanted to kick off first and explain what we're doing here, why we're doing here, how this is different from what you're used to. So that's what I'll do right now. Basically, we have every chapter, we do a nice big stream with awesome trailers and assets and cosmetics and things like that. And we wanted to, on the flip side, have something for our more of our core community. For people who really want some deeper details on gameplay things, on other changes. And so timing lined up really nicely because we have our PTB coming up in a couple weeks. So we thought we'd sit down with a bunch of people and talk about what's coming in the PTB for you to test. Introduce you to the wider community team. These are the people that if you're being mean online, you're being mean to these wonderful people, so hopefully you'll stop. And this is it's going to be a very different thing. We're going to be much more casual. We've got laptops. I don't have a script. I have bullets that I'm going to follow. And I want to introduce you to devs. So it's really our chance to kind of press the reset button on our relationship with the community. So that's what we're here to do today, if that's not too grand an intention. Also to give you more transparency on things that are coming. So you might have noticed someone's missing that you've probably seen on every other stream, and that would be Dork. And the reason Dork is missing is actually because she's here. We can't do a stream without her, literally. She's actually running the stream right now. There she is.
Yay!
Hi, Dork. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Are you doing well? Are you stressed?
I am.
So this is it. That's what I'm saying. This is a different vibe. It's casual. Dork is a streamer in her free time, so she's running the boards in the back, and she'll still get to participate in the show. So let's get into it. I've chatted enough about myself. Let me pass it to Dork to just kind of walk you through what we're going to do on the show.
Yes, so we're going to be going into news and updates where you're going to learn some really awesome stuff. Really excited for that. Then we're going to have a deep dive, and that's going to be going into some stuff that's coming up with slugging and tunneling, which I know a lot of you guys want to hear about. And then we're going to have the new merch store update, so look forward to that.
Heck yeah. Thank you, Dork. These people who have nicely, quietly sat while I've talked, introduce you to more of our community team. Next to me here is Mandy. She's our lead community developer. And we have Omnia, who is our social strategist and all around awesome people. We have more people that I'm excited over future shows to bring on the stream. We got someone in Toronto we want you to meet, people all over the world. So for today, this is our crew. We're going to be bringing on a bunch of designers in a few minutes. So sit tight. Get comfortable, and we're going to start things off with news. What's going on in the world of DBD? If you play a lot, if you hang out in our channels, you already know what's happened in the past week, but you might not know what's coming in the next weeks. So first off, I mentioned PTB's coming up. It's going to be the first week of November, currently planned for November 4th. I say currently because anything can happen with live games, but it's currently planned for November 4th. And as I mentioned earlier, the meat of this show today will be the things that we want to be testing in the PTB. So sit tight, it's coming up. And that same week, something else is happening.
Yep, that same week on the Thursday, which is the 6th, we will be having another version of 2v8. So this one is planned for the November the 6th. There is something new about this one in that Legion is not going to be in this version.
Who was that?
Legion is not going to be in this version. Our design team is readdressing the power system because after we had a lot of feedback through the last version, the design team want to relook at that, trying to get that power to work on accurately in the mode without being causing any problems. So,
Chat seems happy about that.
They do, don't they? It's like, I think a lot of let's go I'm reading. I've got chat open on my laptop so I can see everything as I've been chatting away. Yeah.
We're not going to spoil the content of that 2v8, but they've cooked up some stuff that's
it's
pretty
really
exciting.
fun. Yeah. It's really fun.
But we did want to let you know about Legion. We know that's a frequent topic.
Yes, and it's one of the best versions of 2v8 ever.
Yep. And next, we've got an update on Discord, actually.
We do, yes. Now, this might be a surprise for some, but as you all know, DBD is a community-run Discord. Not for much longer. We've been working really hard with the crew and Daisy at the Discord, who are utterly phenomenal and have done an amazing job over the last few years.
They've run it tremendously
They
well.
have. They've done it. They've taken to this Discord to,
They've
a
established
solid
and built
height.
a beautiful community. Yeah.
So we want to take a more active role, and we want to make Discord to be one of our main focuses of our communications.
Yep.
So the Discord is going to be becoming official again, and we will be owning the Discord.
Doesn't mean we're going to jump in and just pull plugs on everything that's going on. We're quite happy with how it's going. We really kind of want to be a value add, which is a boring marketing person way of saying we want to be helpful, level them up and what they can do there.
Yeah.
Once we're official, we can do a lot of cool things. We're in touch with Discord all the time. They want to do cool things with us, and we want to do cool things with them. So this enables that. This enables us to focus on this as a major channel for us. We've been supportive of the Discord, but now we can focus on the same way we focus on our Twitter channel, the same way we focus on other channels. So this will be a major place for us to be more present and do cool things with the community.
So you expect to see a lot more activations on Discord, so much more things like we've done with the Discord staging, having much more engagement with the developers and the community team. So I'm excited about what's going to come there.
I'm super excited. It's going to be great. So we'll see you there.
Definitely.
Next up, Twitch drops.
Yes, so you may already know we currently have some Haunted by Daylight drops still going on until November 4th. The first drop is block points. You have the Legion Lantern badge and the House Party banner that you can still get until November 4th. And if you tuned in yesterday, you may know there was the Galaxy's Autumn Showcase. We hope you enjoyed the show. But we know a lot of players...
Be a little louder, they're saying. If you
Sorry, a little louder. I'm so sorry. I'm very soft-spoken. You may know yesterday we had the... Galaxy's had their Autumn Showcase, and a lot of players had some issues redeeming the drop. So we want to give you another opportunity to get it with a promo code. The code GALAXIES until October 7 at 1 p.m. ET. You can enter it in the in-game store to redeem the Two Witches blue banner.
If you want to put that up on the screen, Dork, we got a visual asset. Look at that.
Yes.
We're so professional.
So
Beautiful,
nice.
beautiful banner.
So yep, Galaxies is the promo code. Really, like for anyone who tuned into that stream, that was not how that was supposed to go. It should have been easy peasy for you to earn that. And technical issues happened. So that's how you can get it now. While Omnia is talking, I have to say, you've just returned from a grand trip across the seas to Bangkok, Thailand.
Yes, we were at Gamescom Asia last week. We had a Dead by Daylight booth on the floor with a lot of really fun activations. We had 3 Q&A sessions. This is a picture from one of them that we took at the end. And so a lot of questions from our Thai community. It was fully translated as well, which was great. We had an art wall. We got, I think, around over the 3 days, over 300 to 400 drawings on the wall. It was absolutely beautiful to see. And a lot of artists, I have to say, at Gamescom. We were very surprised, great quality. And finally, we had a life-size Krasu at the booth.
Oh my goodness.
It's so beautiful, so gory, so bloody, and it was made by Eranos. You may already have heard of him because he was responsible for the fan-made Dead by Daylight themed cosplay booth at Gamescom in Germany earlier this year. So absolutely super talented, and you can see it here.
We went to Germany and we hung out with him for a few days there, and we thought, oh, this could be a cool opportunity to work more directly with him. Hey, can you build us a disgusting, dangly organ body and ship it to Thailand? And he did it. Amazing stuff. Shout out to Aranos. Really cool guy.
Yeah, and a beautiful, beautiful Krasu.
Yeah. So, still got some more news, then we'll get to the meat that I told you about. Haunted by Daylight.
Yeah, so Haunted by Daylight, that's been running a couple of weeks now. So we made some adjustments this week. We adjusted the quests. We hit everybody, and we agreed that 15 hooks in the void was a lot. So we've reduced that down to 4, which we think is a much more manageable number. Those who already were partly through the quest, that is being granted retroactively. You might need to play a game before that all starts to adjust, though. That was something that we saw happening. So that has been done on Wednesday, and we also altered another complete quest, which is the completion quest, where we reduced the number from 20 down to 18. So taking into consideration that, because it was quite a lot of numbers.
We got a lot of people bragging in the chat they had no problem doing it.
I know. It's like, yeah, I wish. Because I struggled with it. I think I was at 6 by the end of it, but yeah. So
and just because I see people asking on Twitch why we're not on YouTube, but we're not on YouTube today. We didn't get the connection working, and we didn't want to make people wait any longer. So that's why we're on Twitch, not on YouTube. Maybe next time.
Yeah.
Twitch is better.
Don't say that. And we can see we're live because
it sounds like Twitch is Switch. You also had an update there.
Yes.
That was a good. That was so smooth. Yeah. So Switch, we know Switch had an update yesterday. We've managed to get the matchmaking issue that was causing problems. That was resolved.
Yes.
That was resolved pretty quickly yesterday, so we're happy about that. Crossplay, we know that's not working right now for Switch players, so that'll be back early next week. We're aiming for the 28th. It might be a little bit before. It's a bit hard to tell with the process, but it should be definitely before the 28th. That's the final date that we've been given for that. So we are really sorry that it's happened.
Yep.
Unfortunately, it's a bit out of our control, but Switch can still play with other members of Switch, so they're not missing out on the event, which is a great thing.
That's right. All right. As people are appreciating the live dork reaction cam, by the way.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I'm watching it in 2 screens.
How are you doing back there?
I'm doing well. I'm trying to make sure I'm not talking too much because some people were saying they could hear an echo. Echo. So I don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, we're happy
Talk
to
away.
have you. Yeah.
If there's an echo, there's an echo. We don't mind.
They love you. They love you in the
Exactly.
chat. All right. Well, that's it for news and updates for now. We're going to do a very quick transition. My fellow colleagues here are going to step off for a moment. We're going to bring on design and product folks to tell you about what you're going to be testing in the upcoming PTB. So let's get on with it. Mixing it up. Oh, hey. Hi. Welcome to Dude Time. This is a segment I'm very excited for. Like I mentioned, we want this show to be a place you can come get information that you'd normally have to get in a long blog or in patch notes and things like that, and get them from our designers, our product folks, our art folks, anyone that we're able to get on the stream. I want you to meet more of the team. So With that in mind, today, like I said, we're talking about the upcoming PTB, which is just a couple weeks away. It has a bunch of cool things that you're going to find out about in a moment. And this is not, again, this isn't like a boom, flashy trailer reveal. This is really about stuff we want you to test, okay? Testing mindset, not goodies and content.
Exactly.
Because there will be plenty of, DVD.
I think some is still quite flashy.
Yeah, they're flashy. You can test them, but they're flashy.
That's true. Some are kind of flashy. So anyway, let's dive in. Actually, before we do, the thing I'm most excited about for the whole format of this show is where you're going to use PowerPoint. PowerPoint is going to be central to the show from here on out. Get hype. It's the star.
I want to quickly interject and just say
Yes.
that whenever my wife says what I do to people,
Yeah.
excel in PowerPoint.
Yeah,
We're
that's
not
our
proving her
lives.
wrong right now.
So very quickly, we've got Justin. He is our senior product manager. We have Diego, who I think you've never been on before, so you're a new
Never.
face. Diego's
Yeah.
awesome. You're going to love him. Lead UX designer.
Exactly.
And we've got Jeff, who has appeared from time to time.
Very long time ago.
Yeah, and you do the stagings with Mandy on Discord.
I'm the voice, or the face behind the voice. Anyway, that's me.
Jeff is our designer extraordinaire. He's done live balance, live design. He's done killer design, and today he's here to talk about. This is my transition to you. Our reduction systems for tunneling, camping, and slugging. So let's get into it.
Yes. All right. So as Eric so nicely put, we have a lot of PowerPoint to go through. So I apologize. I'm going to try to make it as exciting as it can be. Yeah. So the first question people might ask is, why are we doing these things? Why are we looking at these strategies that people employ to play the game? It's quite simple. Facecamping, tunneling, and slugging were in the top 5 reasons for people uninstalling the game. And we as developers and myself as a player, we want the game to last long. So to make sure that that happens and that the game can keep going as long as it can, we have to address the issues that people have or the players have within the game. So facecamping, slugging, and tunneling are 3 of the issues that we have to address. Oh, right, I have the
You
clicker.
got the clicker.
Yeah, I forgot. That's so cool. Okay, so let me start by saying or explaining what facecamping is. So usually it's described as the killer staying in very close proximity to a hooked survivor. And over here you can see there's a nice little picture where it shows you what facecamping is, what proxy camping is, and what patrolling is. So when you're very close to the hook, that's usually facecamping. When you're like mid length away from the hook, that's proxy camping. You're just making sure the survivor's still there. And when you're a little bit further, you're patrolling. You're looking from afar, seeing no one's going for the save. Okay, so that's basically what the different steps or stages of camping are. Because this is a PowerPoint presentation, I figured it would be very nice to have some key data points. So I went and looked at the data because I think sharing data is always useful. So overall, we have seen that since the start of 2025, facecamping, so the closest proximity to the hook, has not really had any major shift. It's been pretty steady, which is kind of a weird thing to talk about, but that's the data. Patrolling, which is when you're further than 20 meters away, has increased a little bit. So killers tend to stay closer to the hook by about 3 seconds as opposed to, before 2025. And surprisingly, which is something that I think is fascinating because it could imply that survivors are learning to not rush on hooks, which is great. Survivors take more time to go for rescues. So you will leave your teammate on the hook for a little longer because you're going to finish that gen. And that's usually a good thing. So yeah, good job. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about for key data points is when the resolve bar fills, so that's the bar that fills up when you're being camped, there's a 10% increase in escape rates. So the face camping mechanic or reduction that we implemented, I think it was last year or 2 years ago, actually has an impact on how the matches go. So here is a breakdown by MMR. So you can see that low MMR killers tend to face camp more than mid or high MMR killers. And in terms of maps, Raccoon City Police Department West Wing is the highest percentage for face camping, and Wretched Shop is the lowest. And I put some stars beside those because while that's what the data says, we would have to do a deep dive as to why that is, because we could argue that RCPD is very narrow. It's got, not a lot of room, so you spend more time near hooks without really wanting to. But I think it's interesting to share that these are the highest and lowest. As to why, I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. So what are the goals with the face camping updates in the upcoming PTB? The first is to bridge the gap between solo players and survive with friends, and it'll all make sense in just a second. And the other one is to make the anti-face camp mechanic fair for both sides. So you may, as killer, have experienced the meter filling up too soon after you've hooked someone, or you've hooked someone in the basement and you hook another survivor, and the first one's filling up their meter. There's a lot of scenarios where it could feel a little oppressive. So what's next? In the upcoming PTB, you'll be able to test and hopefully give us a lot of feedback. The resolve bar when being camped will be visible to all survivors. So that means if I'm being camped and Diego is doing a gen on the other side of the map, he will see the resolve bar filling on the HUD. So he'll be able to tell, one, that I'm being camped, but also what the progress is on that camp meter. The next thing is the meter will fill up faster based on how long the killer stays within proximity of the hook. So this is really cool because first we've also decreased the rate at which it fills baseline, so the killer's not penalized for walking by or anything like that. It's really just if you spend a lot of time near the hook, it will fill up much faster, up to 200% of the life value, which is 10 charges per second. And then the last thing we did as well is we increased the range of the anti-face camp radius to 20 meters. So it's a little bit more punishing in a way if you decide to stick within 20 meters with a hatchet pulled out or other scenarios. Oh, right, and there's one last thing I forgot. So initially, when you hook a survivor, there's a 7-second grace period before the meter starts filling up. But that wouldn't only apply to when you hook that specific survivor. So in my example, where you hook a second survivor in the basement, that first survivor that you hooked will still be filling up that meter. Now, with the upcoming PTB, if you hook a second survivor, it will put the grace period on all hooked survivors within the area that you're in. So you won't be penalized for doing that. And here we have a beautiful video of Meg watching Claudette's demise. And I zoomed in on, maybe we want, yeah, thank you. I zoomed in on the HUD so that we can see the resolve bar filling. And so that's the first thing you'll notice, is that it's visible. But the second thing you'll notice is that as the trapper just sticks around there, it'll fill up faster and faster, which is what we were saying, what I was just saying about it filling up faster based on how long you stayed near the hook. And hopefully, with the visible resolve bar, you'll see, again, hopefully, teammates make more informed decisions about the state of the game, right? Like in terms of macro, what's going on, where you should be, what you should be doing in the moment to moment. I think it'll be really helpful, but again, you guys can test it out and get feedback on it because that's the whole point. We're putting it on the next PTB so you guys can test it and give us some insight as to how it feels and what it's like.
And I'll jump in there just because, thank you. That's the point I was going to say. You'll probably get sick of me saying it. We really are testing these features in the next PTB. Don't start being really upset that this is already in the game and I hate it. What we want to do is test it. We want to get your feedback with hands-on, not just based on the information. Try it out. Let us know how it feels if you're a killer, how it feels if you're a survivor, and then we'll go from there and see what we're going to do. And that's the case for each of the things that we're going to present today.
Yes, and everything else as well. Right. So let's move on to the next one. What is tunneling? Well, tunneling is usually described when you go for the same survivor until they are out of the match. Here we can see Nia with zebra pants being targeted by the skull merchant. Maybe that expresses my feelings towards zebra pants. Maybe it doesn't. That's for you to figure out. So, key data points. Throughout 2025, we have seen a slight drop in tunneling. So these percentages are the average percentage of tunneling happening in matches. So 44% of matches had tunneling occurrences in January. And when I say tunneling, there's different ways that we're analyzing it. The first one is when you go for one survivor and only one survivor from the start of the match. There's also when you go for consecutive hooks, not necessarily the first survivor that you find, but you just get the second survivor out of the match quickly. And then there's the last one, which I'm completely blanking out on. But this is the overall of all these scenarios that we analyzed with the data. And as you can see, today, this morning, when I got the last bit of data, it's down to 40%, which is a 4% drop. It's pretty important. And then if we look at the breakdown by MMR, we see the opposite of what we saw with camping. So low MMR killers tend to tunnel less than high MMR killers, which is also interesting. And we could extrapolate as to why. One hypothesis is that high MMR survivors are just more efficient, so therefore tunneling feels like the most efficient way to combat their efficiency. But that's another thing that you guys can theory craft on and help us understand. And then in terms of maps, the treatment theater has the highest percentage of tunneling, and Gas Heaven has the lowest. And same thing as with camping. Why we would have to do a deep dive and try to understand exactly why this is the case. But I thought it was interesting that treatment theater, I definitely didn't expect that one to be number one, but it is. And then Gas Heaven, I mean, the map is pretty strong for survivors, so maybe it has something to do with that. But again, if you guys want to theory craft, go for it. I think it's super cool to see all the discussions happen. So what are the goals with tunneling? We want to ensure that every player's time is respected. And we also want to make sure that when you queue up, it means that you get to play the match. I'm sure that our survivor players have already had this happen to them, where they go into a match and they're out within the first 2 minutes. And it never really feels nice, because sometimes you queue up for a little bit longer than that, sometimes even longer based on what kind of game modes are on. But the point is, when you queue up, we would like you to be able to play the game and just have fun, which is the most important part. And we also want to ensure that player agency is retained. And I'll expand on that a little bit, and I think it's the next slide or the one after that. But we want to ensure that player agency is retained, and we want to put the onus on the survivor. So,
good use of the word onus.
Thank you. Thank you. I feel smart. I feel smart. So the key learnings from the PTB. The first one is that the players found the proposed solution too intrusive, and to refresh everyone's memory, on the PTB, the last PTB that we had the unhooked protections for survivors, we had the killer penalties if you did tunnel, we had the killer bonuses, and all of these things together felt like it was a little too much, which is a very fair point. And I think that the last PTB gave us some really good insight as to what worked and what didn't. So I want to say thank you for all the feedback that you guys gave, because it really helped us. It helped inform our next steps for this feature. The second point is what I was just saying from the previous slide, is that players want to retain their agency. They want to be able to make those decisions. They want to be able to make the call. They want to be able to play the game the way they want without being told you can't do that or you can't do this, which, again, is a very, very fair point. And then to build up on that, a lot of players felt that the solution in the previous PTB held their hand too much. So it was, you got a unique hook, so now you get a gen kick bonus, or you got the aura reveal, and then I think the way that it was described, which I thought was a really good way to describe it, was that it felt very, very cookie cutter. There was one right way to play the game, and if you didn't do it, then you were kind of shooting yourself in the foot, which is not super cool. So what's next?
Can I just say before you say what?
Yes.
Watching chat hang on every bullet, reacting to each bullet before you get to the next one is great. It's great.
So it's positive.
People
good
are
stuff?
Locked in, and they have lots of thoughts.
Good. I'm
before
glad
they know what you're going to do.
Great. I'm glad that the PowerPoint is working.
Every word. Okay.
So what's next? The first one is that survivors will get their unhooked protections. And I'm going to go into more detail what each of these means. This is just a high level of what is next. The killer will get some bonuses, and there are no more killer penalties, which I think was the most polarizing topic in the previous VTB, is the penalties. So there's no more penalties. We're good? Okay.
We're good,
I thought there was something else. Okay.
I'll jump in if I need to, but you're doing great.
Good. So unhooked protections. Most of it is the same, but there are some differences with what was on the last PTB. So you still get 10% haste. You still get the endurance status effect, which means that if you get hit, you'll go into deep wound instead of going down. There's the new status effect elusive, which means that you cannot be revealed. You will leave no pools of blood, no scratch marks, and you make no grunts of pain. One thing that we added as well is that you will make no sounds, so you won't be coughing or puking or stuff like that, because some killers had very clever ways of bypassing the system in the previous PTB. You still do not accumulate AFK points, so AFK crows will not come into play if you are under the unhook protections. You will still see the killer's aura within 32 meters. And these are still lost when performing a conspicuous action or when being healed a full health state. And I think it's also important to remind people that when it's in endgame, these bonuses are mostly turned off. The only ones that are on are the 10% haste and endurance that are granted for 10 seconds, which is what it is currently on live. So here we have a video. Again, Meg is the star of the show. She gets unhooked, and I zoomed in on the status effects. You can see there's the endurance, there's the haste, and there's elusive. You see the killer's aura. And the survivor basically has a lot of tools to avoid the killer. This specific instance is a bot killer, so it's too smart. I can't outplay it. But what you just saw as well is, I'm going to play it again, just because I was talking about... Oh, can I go back? Okay.
PowerPoint can do that.
Yeah, I have the clicker. I have the power, though, which is great. What you noticed as well is that Meg was trying to, stop the killer from go after Jake, which is one of the key differences that we have compared to the last PTB, which is that the survivor no longer loses collision with unhook protections. So, key differences. We have removed the no collision from unhook protections, and we've decreased the killer aura reveal to 10 seconds. So it doesn't last the entire duration of the unhook protections. And you might ask why? Well, we saw in the previous PTB that survivors were weaponizing both of these effects to go for aggressive plays, as opposed to trying to survive, which is the intended goal of the unhook protections, is to put you in a spot where you can make better decisions to survive. What we saw was that killers who were actively trying to not tunnel were being punished by these things. Right, moving on. Killer bonuses. So upon a unique hook, which is hooking a different survivor from the last. So I got hooked, and then Diego gets hooked. Oh, that's a unique bonus. Sorry.
I tried.
So the first one is that you will gain Bloodlust for 15 seconds. And the second is that you gain a stackable blood point multiplier on your match score. And the last thing that we did different from the previous PTB is that we have buffed a series of score events related to hooks. So now for example, when you get a first hook on a survivor, you get 750 blood points instead of, I think it was 200. It was very low. Maybe 500. I'm not sure. I should have put it. Anyway, I forgot. So here's a video of the bonuses in action. I cut the previous part before that moment because I was being looped by the Meg bot for so long and I was so embarrassed. So I just cut to the point where I downed her. So as you can see here, I hook her. I have the Bloodlust bonus, so I'm moving slightly faster. And you can see the golden marker on the hook counter, which I don't know about you, but when I play with, I'm a survivor main, but when I play with Deja Vu and I have that yellow bar, it feels really nice. So having that golden marker right there feels just as good.
That's good UX.
That's good UX. That's as a segue, yeah, this is something we have been working together to be sure that it's also as understandable as possible when you're meeting this feature and it's enjoyable, even if you already know it by heart as a engaged player. So every little effect that we work together, like also the fire that we used to have on the generator, that's UX. Yeah,
it feels really good. And then I'm gonna replay it again, just because there was a portion that we missed. But one thing that's important to note is that our more advanced players will probably ask the reason why Bloodlust, like it resets or goes down when you're not in chase, or there are rules with Bloodlust because it is a mechanic that we have in the game where it builds up during chase and you lose it if you break a pallet or if you hit a survivor, and there's all these things. So for this particular instance of Bloodlust, you will keep it until you use your power. So too bad for Blight, I guess. Or if you enter a chase. And the reason why is because with internal testing, we found that if you had Bloodlust and you would just enter a chase, you could just continue building it up to, tier 2 and tier 3, and that felt quite oppressive in certain scenarios. And of course, I will remind everyone, this is to test on the next PTB. So if you test it with the current iteration where it's tier 1 Bloodlust and you have feedback on that, please give that feedback. It's really, really crucial for us to develop this feature. And then the last bit over here is, again, I chased Claudette for so long to try to hook her a second time, and I just skipped to the part where I downed her. And now I hooked Claudette for a second time in a row, so I didn't get the golden hook marker, and I didn't get any bonuses from that. So that means I do not get a multiplier from that specific hook, and I also do not get Bloodlust. And I think that's something really important to note, is the blood point multiplier is based on the total count of unique hooks that you have, and not the sequence or the streak that you have. So if you happen to get 3 unique hooks and then you kill the survivor off for whatever reason, you're not going to lose the initial multiplier that you accumulated so far, which is, I think, really cool. So, I word vomited about a lot of stuff. I apologize. It's a lot of information.
Doing great.
But
like I said, people are locked in. You're doing fine.
I'm really glad, because I'm like, before I was like, there's a lot of slides, there's a lot of stuff to talk about, and I was very worried. So the fact that people are locked in.
This is my dream come true, Jeff. You're making my dreams come true right now.
Cool. So key differences. Like I mentioned, we swapped the haste bonus for Bloodlust. We have removed the bonus generated damage on the next kick, and we removed the aura reveal, also dubbed Base Kit Barbecue. And I want to really quickly touch upon each of these. So the reason why we switched haste to Bloodlust is specifically because haste doesn't have a limit to how it stacks with killer powers. So that means that if you, for example, played the Spirit and you got haste from a uni hook, that would stack with the haste that you got from your power, which basically makes a strong killer even stronger. And that's not usually what we like. We don't want to make the gap between weaker killers and stronger killers wider. We want to try to make it smaller. So using Bloodlust allows us to do that, because, again, if you use your power, you will not get the full benefit, unlike someone like Trapper, for example, not likely to use his traps for mobility, so he'll probably get the full benefit from this bonus. And then the next two goes back to what I was saying, where a lot of players felt that it would hold their hands into how they played the game, and it felt very cookie cutter. Like there was one right way to play: is you would get a uni hook, you would go to a gen, you would kick that gen, then you would see the aura, and you would go to there, and you would just rinse and repeat this whole sequence over and over again. And one of the things that we came to realize after the last PTB is that goes against some of our core pillars. One of our core pillar is chaos, and not chaos in the sense that everything is all over the place, but things are unpredictable, right? The player has, and the second one is player agency. So the player has control in how they want to play the game and how they want to approach each different scenario. And I think that's really important, and the unpredictable chaos comes from those player decisions. And so if we put a feature in that removes that, then we are not true to our core pillars. And that's usually a no-go for things in game development. So, all right. This is the last slide for tunneling specifically. The following perks and add-ons will be updated. So Furtive Chase, Babysitter, Borrowed Time, Breakdown, Off the Record, and Wicked. And then for add-ons, Original Pain and Soma Family Photo are getting changes. And this is because our more advanced players may be aware that these allow you to bypass the endurance that you get from being unhooked. And, if a feature is supposed to help with surviving after being hooked, it doesn't make sense to keep these in the game. So again, these will be available to test on the BTB. So try them out. Give us some feedback on the changes. If you like them, don't like them, why, and all that stuff. It's really, really useful. And then for the Syringe and Styptic Agent add-ons, they've been very notorious. They've been in the game for a while, and they've been very strong for a while. And so given that there's a lot of stuff, helping out the survivors, I think that now's a good time to address those add-ons specifically because they are very helpful in extending chases that would usually end earlier. So again, test out these changes and give us your feedback on them. It's very, very important. All right.
And just to say, right, so when they're testing, when we're getting the feedback, it's not like a single switch where we're like, all right, this whole thing's going live. You know, there's a lot that you just went through.
Yes.
Any number of those things could be changed, you know? So
yes. And I think what's important is that, you know, if a feature needs more time, we should take that time.
Yeah.
And this is a very good case for this because it's a really big feature.
Yep.
And it has a lot of implications, so we got to make sure it's right.
Heck yeah.
All right. What is slugging? So slugging is usually described as putting a survivor in the dying state and leaving them there. Now there is slugging, which is for pressure. So here we have, that's Dwight, by the way, that's in the dying state. And the Skull Merchant is, you know, seeing that there's a Nia on the side, just maybe waiting for a flashlight save, who knows. So she decides to chase the Nia. So that's slugging for pressure. And then you have the more evil Skull Merchant. Here she has slugged 4 Dwights, and they're all in the dying state. So the first one is good. We like that. This is a good thing. The second one, not so much. So back with some data. Overall, killers across all MMR tend to slug for about 30 seconds. So that's time spent in the dying state for survivors. And overall, high MMR survivors spend less time in the dying state at 26 seconds, which means that higher MMR survivors will go for those pickups either faster or more efficiently, you know, by bringing perks or whatever. Anyway, that's what happens. So if we look at the comparison between January and now, we do see that survivors spend less time in the dying state. So this is 35 seconds in January, and then it went down to 34 seconds in June, and now it's down to 30 seconds. And then the other thing that's really interesting is that in January, there was about 4% of matches that would have bleed outs in them. So that's when you would fully die from being slugged, when your bleed out meter would you know, just empty. And that's down to 2%, and it has been consistent with the release of the abandoned feature. So since the abandoned feature, we've seen a pretty significant drop in the time spent, the bleed out occurrence for survivors. And now this is really interesting as well, is the map with the highest time spent slugged is the game. I have tried to understand why or how since I put this in the slide, and I am still not sure. Like, is it the layout of the map that makes it more difficult to find your teammates? I don't know, but it's the highest. And the lowest, which is contrary to what we had with the camping portion, is RCPD West Wing at 28 seconds, which is also interesting because I'm pretty sure that that one might be more confusing for survivors. I don't know.
Everybody's yelling pallets.
Pallets for the game?
Yeah. They're just shouting the word pallets. That's
I mean, I'm glad that they like
you'd like
pallets,
to know that.
you know, that's cool. So what are the goals for the slugging update? Obviously, our intention since the start was to target excessive slugging while retaining slugging for pressure. So remember the Skull Merchant who was chasing Nia and, you know, leaving Dwight on the ground? That's good. That's slugging for pressure. And we did have some key learnings from the previous PTB. So the first one was that players found that crawling while recovering was too strong. So for a bit of context, in the previous PTB, survivors could recover, well, they recovered automatically while crawling, so you could move while recovering, which allowed you to reposition while also getting ready to be picked up, and it was very strong. And players were also faced with lose-lose scenarios because with the tunneling reduction feature and the penalties that were there, you couldn't get someone out because they were the last one that you hooked, but you also couldn't slug them because they could just pick themselves up. So that's a bit of an oversight on our part, but now this time that is not the case. So again, test it out and, you know, give us your feedback.
I will say,
Yes.
Jeff didn't do the pallet density stuff, so he's not going to speak to the pallet density stuff.
Oh yeah, no.
People are
Sorry, not me, not yet.
When we get
Not
Mandy
yet.
back out here, she can give you an update.
So the next one is that the players felt the time to fill the resolve bar was too short. So on the previous PTB, if I remember correctly, it was 90 seconds, which is pretty short. But in the next PTB, it'll be 120 seconds. So for a bit of reference, the bleed out timer for a survivor is 240 seconds. So this will take half of your bleed out timer to fill, which is quite significant. However, it will fill 33% faster for each additional survivor in the dying state. So if a killer is indeed slugging a little bit more than for just pressure, well, they risk a slug or multiple slugs getting back up and away. So once the resolve bar is full, the survivor will be able to pick themselves up for the rest of the trial. However, they need to fill their recovery meter every single time. You can't just like pick yourself back up the moment you're down. And then the last part is the crawling speed of a survivor will increase over time while in the dying state, and it will go up to 1 meter, 1.05 meters per second. So here's a comparison of the normal time a resolve bar takes to fill, so when you're the only survivor in the dying state, versus 2 additional survivors in the dying state. So as you can see, the trapper's taking the time to down I think that's a Claudette, I can't see from here. Yeah, that's a Claudette. And Dwight, and in the first clip, Meg is just, moving around, and then she stops and she's like, oh shit, I gotta recover. So now she's recovering, and the resolve bar is still filling. It's very hard to see on that monitor because it's so tiny. I should have maybe put that bigger, but anyway. Right, I had to put that there because I accidentally showed something that wasn't supposed to be shown, but it's fine. You didn't see anything. And so as you can see, the resolve bar is still filling. The Meg on the right should be about halfway, if my eyes are not deceiving me. I think that's what it is. Anyway, sorry, it's a bit long. It's 120 seconds for the left one, so I'm just going to yap away. How's everyone's day going?
Yeah, well,
How are you feeling?
They liked your little meme thing.
That was my rendition of Meg, by the way.
Oh, that was Meg?
Yeah, that was Meg.
There were reactions, Jeff. There were definitely reactions during that segment. Let's test them out.
Yes. That, again, I know that I keep hammering at that point, but, as I like to remind people, is this game is designed and developed for the players. And so if the players are not satisfied, then we need to improve. We need to do something better.
But you know what? And this is why I could never be a designer, and then why you don't want me to be a designer. Our players are killers or survivors, and those are very different things.
They are.
It's a super hard balance to strike. So you don't want me on your team. That's what I'm saying.
So here you can see the Meg on the right has been done with her resolve bar for quite some time, while the Meg on the left is still trying. So you can see there's a very big difference between only slugging a survivor versus multiple survivors. And I think she's just about to get there. There we go. She just finally got the ability to pick herself back up. And I'm sorry I forgot to put the perk icon for this one, but the only perk update for this will be tenacity. And for all the perk and add-on changes, we'll point you to the patch notes whenever they're out sometime in the next few weeks. And again, when you have the feedback, please do share it.
There definitely were some, before you got to tenacity, some big tenacity fans in the chat that wanted to hear about it. So shout out to them. Jeff, please take a breather. You're not done though. But we're going to take a Jeff break and hand it over to Justin.
Yes.
Jeff, thank you so much.
I give you the clicker of power.
I will gladly give you a break, sir.
To echo what I saw someone say, you're doing great, Jeff.
Thank you.
I don't think we did a full run through before,
Nope.
and that was long. Good job, Jeff. Damn. So I'm here to talk about a very hot topic that I think people have been asking about. Let's see if this clicker works properly first.
Yeah.
Autohaven. So we've heard a few things from players, you could say. Some would say it's too dark.
Yeah.
So we've taken a look with our team. We've gone in and we've actually done like a really nice visual pass. But instead of talking about it, I just want to show players. I just want to show them what the team has done that will be available on this PTB to try out.
Yeah, we really want folks' feedback on this.
So on the left, you have the version that is presently live. On right is the version of the Autohaven Realm maps that will be live during the PTB. Now, if you notice, the team has gone through, brightened up the textures, adjusted the lighting, and kept a really nice atmosphere to the entire map.
Just want to say, this is probably one of the only realms where I have to boost my gamma up to the max because I literally could just never see anything.
It's something where like you don't remember how dark it is because you're kind of just used to it. But then when you take a look compared to what it could look like to properly brighten and see all the textures properly, wow, it's amazing with just that amount of work that the team has been able to do. So like really congrats to the art team to be able to polish this, get this one more visible, and I'm really looking forward to hear what everyone has to say about all the Autohaven maps on the PTB. So we've even made a map showcase that will rotate a map from Autohaven each day, so you can easily jump in and just try it out. And like was mentioned by Eric, so I shall repeat it.
Go ahead.
We are testing everything on here. We want to make sure that players are satisfied, that they feel that this is an improvement. If not, we are absolutely willing to go back and do some tweaks, make sure that players feel that this is what they were expecting when they were asking for, improved lighting on Autohaven or complaining that it's too dark.
Just to confirm, the map showcases like having a separate queue for that realm specifically?
Exactly. So players can jump right into that. They'll play one of these. I forget exactly what rotation we picked, but we can absolutely share that. So if you want to come back one day to try out one of the Autohaven maps, not a problem.
Cool. Very cool.
Still on the subject of maps, we recently finished a map survey that we sent out to players. And I don't have the final numbers, but it was tens of thousands, I will safely say. So thank you everyone who filled that out because we've been, I'm going to use Eric's words, thirsty for data on this kind of stuff.
I'm going to take a drink right now.
So I don't have a lot I can share with you right now, but we are using it towards a lot of initiatives and to inform some decisions. One thing I can share is that we know what your top 5 enjoyed maps are. Some may shock you. So what we did here is we took a look at the most liked and the most disliked, and so really took both of these into account for how players rated each map. Now, if you see a map here that you didn't get a chance to answer on, that's normal. Players were only given 5 maps from the total to answer. Otherwise, if you have you answering on all the maps, you are never finishing the survey.
It's a lot.
It's a
This might
lot.
challenge some perceptions here.
Maybe a bit. So
Or not.
at 5th, we have, I should have put RCPD. I always forget the name. That's on me. We have the West Wing. We then have Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The East Wing. We have Ormond Resort, which I know is someone's favorite in this room I'm staring at. And then we have our champion, that is Dead Dog Saloon, which is actually not a shocker because whenever we would have players vote on maps that would get boosted before anniversary events, always the winner.
Dead dog.
All the time.
Are we going to add that crown on top just to celebrate that?
In the map.
I may have to go to the team and ask for it, but probably not. No expectations. So with a lot of this info, we're going to do some things that we've been hearing players talk about because we've been waiting on this data to help us make more informed decisions. So we are going to be rebalancing the weights of the maps so that you get the maps that you like more often. And we are going to adjust the realm repeat prevention. So right now, let's say it tweaks your second most played map. It reduces the weight by reduces it to 25% of what it is or something. Don't quote me on that. But
Too late. They're definitely going to
I don't know why I said it. It's a terrible idea. But we are going to make it a lot more harsh so that among everyone who's in a match, amongst all 5 players, you will have a higher chance of getting a map that none of you have played in those past few matches. So between all of these, I'm hoping that really improves everyone's experience, improves the variety of all the maps that you are playing, and just gives you a lot more fun. This is not something that we're going to tweak for the PTB, by the way, so I want to be clear. I'd rather keep
It's a
the focus
longer-term
on,
thing.
Exactly. I'd rather keep the focus on Autohaven. We do also just need to finalize what those values are, how we are actually taking all of the data into account, that sweet, juicy data.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm hoping that this helps improve players' experience, quite a bit.
Cool.
Just curious. Like, I'm going to ask chat a question.
Oh, they're ready. They're hanging
Out
on
of
the edge
curiosity, have you seen an increase in, I don't know, Hawkins or the game or RPD? Because in my matches, That's what I've seen a lot of
RPD.
lately.
Yeah.
RPD.
Yeah.
So I'm very thankful that we're looking at that because some variety would go a very long way.
Well, we're going to see. So I think the realm repeat prevention will help there.
Yes.
Dork shouting
Yeah.
from the back.
So we are also going to look into just making sure that it is working as intended. So that's a little just addition I want to make sure here because we are hearing occurrences of things like this. And we want to make sure that what the changes that we are doing, we're confident with them and that players can expect to have that good variety of content during their match.
Very cool stuff.
That was fun. We should poll the chat more often. That was good.
I think that's it for me, though.
Thank you so much, Justin.
The stick of power then.
I'm excited for people to test this in PTB and may or may not release it someday.
Test in PTB,
Yeah.
you say? How?
PTB, the T stands for testing. I'm going to die on this hill. I probably will. What's UX?
So UX, that stands for user experience.
True.
And if I may, experiencia de usuario, for all the Spanish speaking and my Chilean brothers and sisters. It's all about how do we present the game, deliver interaction, make it feel great, and also as engaging as possible. You understanding what you can do, what you're not allowed to do, and how to do it in the best way. So we work with designers and all areas of development, to be honest, to be sure that we are delivering something that is fun, that is visceral, interesting, and that you can feel that the challenge is fair. So we're not trying to make the game easy. We're trying to make it as challenging as we want it to be, and so it's fun for players.
Chile is in the chat.
Chile says, hey! I almost cursed in Chilean, but yeah.
No one will know.
You know which word I'm using. But, so yeah, that's UX. And to give examples from the past, little things sometimes that we just add, like the emissive colors on the pistons and generators. So it's easier for killers and survivors to see them from the distance. That was UX involved. Or the bulk spending, what we added, so you can go and just use so many blood points at once on the blood web. That was UX doing their dark magic. And a lot of other things that we have had to correct anyway after testing. Because we are always trying to improve, to iterate. Yeah. So this time we're also coming with some neat thing that we want to test, stress in all those iterations of testing. That has to do with, first, the settings and itself. So this is going to bring us to the more interesting part of this testing. So what we're doing is on PTB, we are showing a new face, a new way of presenting the settings menu. Oh, right, I have the power.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, well, it's such a new technology that I don't know how to. So we're going with a more modern way of presenting the settings. Also trying to keep the horror theme. So we're not trying to go astray in that sense. It's still DVD. But we're trying, we're not trying, we are testing if this is smoother, feels better, it's easier to use, and also it would allow us to keep adding more things or making it better for players to customize or set up their own experience. And this has allowed us also to start saying, okay, let's go and make our widgets better. So instead of just being clicking over and over again to just put the volume down or up, whatever rocks your boat, we just said, okay, let's go with something we are all used to and just let people drag the little bar. And this is also super important because sometimes there are needs that are invisible for most people. So we forget that this is important for people that has, for instance, carpal tunnel. So each single click counts. Also the type of mobility issues. So we are looking to make these things better, test them, also make them better for controller users in the future. So we also took this as an opportunity to start trying new little widgets.
Yeah.
We can see a lot of colors here, and it is because we are testing in this PTV, letting you all customize the color that you want to have on your scratch marks. This is something that all players are going to be able to see, but it's also very interesting for me as a killer main.
You just won the stream. You're the winner.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I thought he wanted like the bulk
Then I'm
spending
okay.
more,
Drop the mic. I'm leaving. Then I already won.
They're calling you Poppy, by the way.
Poppy.
Oh my.
Damn.
Let's get used to that.
Okay. Papi Diego.
Poppy Diego.
So yeah, and one thing I'm going to show some images, but one thing I want to make sure to communicate here is that we're trying to empower all players. So of course this comes from us thinking of accessibility for people with color blindness. But we are trying to go beyond that, making the game better for everyone, and thus covering from this special situation or needs. So I think it's just what I said there.
Yep.
So this is an example of the left side with how it is with the color red. Bigger on the right side, it's one of the colors applied, this type of cyan color. If someone would like to have that. Even now, I must say I don't have color blindness, and it's easier for me to look at the contrast between the cyan color and all the yellow kind of palette on the Cold Wind Farm. And we can see, using another color, how this could be seen, because this is a simulation of someone with protanopia, that they perceive reds closer to yellow and purples and other similar colors closer to blue. So for the first time, we already have people on house that they are able to see scratch marks for the first time.
Yes. In this room even.
In this room even. And the way we are doing it is allowing you to go, even during match, to the beta tab, because we're testing this. If you didn't know, we're testing this. And being able to change it and doing it mid-game.
That's very cool.
Yeah, and this is going to allow us to also, all players to go and change the color per map and to try it out, see which one works better for all maps, or maybe they would like to have it change it per map. All these things we would love to know. How do they use it? Is this interesting or not? Or are they okay with just one color, etc.? And the neat thing is that even with this little white one, you can still see it to find a sneaky bot survivor that just decided to go into a locker there. So another example that we have there, a little bit shorter, is on the Macmillan Estate. So you can see also a comparison on a popular red jet darker map. And here we're using another sort of colors. But by the way, since we're in this phase of continuous improvement, we are always trying to find how to make from little to big things better, and we're testing these things out. Colors may vary, and we are going to be adding perhaps more colors if this is necessary, if you players want it.
Lots of purple requests.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, we are running a purple.
Lots of Prince fans in here.
Yes, it's most probably that we're going to go out with a purple. Don't quote me on that, as I'm quoting Justin, having said don't quote me on that. But purple is one of the ones that we have noticed that could be better. So that's the whole thing of the scratch mark. I hope everyone can really test it out and make most of it, so they can share what are their thoughts and have the best customized and empowering experience as possible.
Yep. Thank you so much, Diego. Before you go, there was another small thing we did UX-wise in terms of people getting into the game, right?
Sorry, just before I want to say about the scratch marks. Yes, you are. I mean, Papi Diego.
I didn't make it up. They said it.
I was going to say, I struggle to see scratch marks on Toba Landing, and I am so happy that I will be able to finally potentially, and I don't have color blindness or anything. It's just so visually noisy that I lose track of scratch marks. So having a different color, I think, will be super helpful for that map for me.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
I'm glad to hear that. It's also a thing for me, as I mentioned, I'm a killer main, so I have seen this struggle. So imagine with people that have color blindness. And one thing before the thing that I have forgotten, because I have forgotten another one. I always forget that I forget things. So
so many cool things, you forget them.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, we want to know how this thing is perceived, because there may be some opportunities in the future for us to keep allowing players to play around with colors. So as long as we keep the atmosphere, the intention of the game, the horror aspect, but also the action nature of it, being as good as it is or even better, there may be some opportunities of allowing players to change the color of other aspects in the game. Yeah, the other thing I forgot, and thank you for bringing it up. So as I mentioned, UX has to do with so many things, and it also has to do with allowing players on getting to the game and to the fun part as fast, as smoothly as possible. So we are testing here on PTV a little change on how you enter the game. So we are removing the intro video after you have seen it one time. So every time we put another video there, another cool thing for you to see. You're going to get into the game, you're going to see the neat video, and then taken immediately, without any extra loading screen, into the main menu. Next time, you're going to get there, you're going to see the photosensitivity disclaimer as always, no video, immediately to the main menu. So now you don't have to be there doing 3-4 clicks just to get into the game. So easier, faster, you can get there and start killing people if you want to.
Another dub from Papi Diego.
W.
Wow. I'm waiting to get back to the seat and just see in chats just all the Papi Diego from all the
Yes. Do we not say dubs anymore? We say W. We say the full W. No. I say dub. I'm old though.
I don't feel like any of us are young enough to know anymore.
Yeah, I just don't try anymore.
No, okay.
The cool kids say they just say W.
Oh, okay.
They just say W.
I know that you're doing the Zoomer like mic thing too, so I can't keep up with you.
Chat, please.
I have my reasons. I have my reasons. I go to wipe my eyes so often it would just like wrinkle all the time.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just always crying, so that's why.
Fantastic, Diego. Thank you so
thank
much.
you.
I told you earlier, Jeff's not done. Let's hit him with another one.
All right, Clicker, it's you and me, buddy. So, PTB, again, test build, testing changes, really, really important. There are some upcoming changes that I think are really important to highlight, and I think there are people out there who will be very happy to hear about them. And you may have noticed a familiar silhouette in the PowerPoint, and that is the one of Skull Merchant.
Literally everyone noticed, yes.
I'm glad. I'm glad it wasn't subtle at all, because that was my point. I'm glad. Good job, chat. And, you know, it's time to give her a little something. And for a bit of context, I think it was actually in October of 2024. I'm pretty sure it was October last year. We did a series of changes to her, which you know, had the goal of bringing her power level down. But you know, I'm going to be honest, they were pretty heavy-handed, and they had the result that we wanted it to have, where her kill rate dropped significantly because she was at, I think it was like 70% kill rate. It was very, very high. And her DC rate was also through the roof. And that's no longer the case. So with the upcoming PTB, there are some changes that we will do to the Skull Merchant, which are buffs. So the first one is that her drones will rotate faster. And don't worry, I have a video after this to show you, but I'm just going to go through the list first. So they'll rotate 10 degrees faster per second. We have increased the hindered penalty for getting scanned to 10%. It was 8% on live. We've decreased the cooldown to deploying your drones. So on live, it's 10 seconds. Now it will be 7. And consequently, to make sure that, you know, you don't stay undetectable for the entire match, we'll reduce the undetectable duration just a little bit so that it, you know, falls in line. We have removed the fast vault immunity to scan lines, and what this is that initially, when you fast vaulted a window or pallet, you would get scanned, and then in the update, I don't know if it was the one last year, sometime between, but we removed that, and we gave immunity to survivors doing that action, and I think that had a really very big hit on the Skull Merchant. And then the last thing, this is a bit of a new one-ish, kind of. In the original design of Skull Merchant, when we updated her the first time after her initial release, I'm pretty sure, sorry, timelines and memories and stuff, it's all very vague, we added a protection against survivors who would try to grief the Skull Merchant by standing underneath her drones, which is that if you stay underneath the drone, you would get a claw trap almost instantly. And I have seen a lot of people online think that that is a bug. So it's not a bug, it's just a failsafe. Let's call it that way. And to keep a similar functionality, which I think our Skull Merchant players have embraced, but also make it fair for survivors so that they understand that something bad is happening to them, we're going to make that build up over time. So instead of getting instant lock on and get a claw trap immediately, you will get 1 stack of lock-on every 2.5 seconds. So you'll see the full visual on your model that this is happening, and you'll see it build up, and you'll have the opportunity to, move out of the way and not stay there. And the last thing that we did, and I think this is another one that the Skull Merchant players will really like. And by the way, these, this particular one was a suggestion from one of our consultants, so I just want to say shout out to them. Really, really helpful group. They help us, figure out what would feel right for a killer, and then we can put it on the PTB and get even more feedback. So this last one is basically when you deploy a drone, there is a detection area where if you, as the killer, go too close to it, it will move up. When it moves up, it's basically disabled. So the comparison that I would make, and maybe it's not a really good one, but it's a comparison that I can think of, is with Pinhead. When you chain someone and you walk into the chain, it breaks. So it's like the power kind of like works against you in a way. And this is a prime example of that, where you can deploy your drone, and then just because you were slightly too close to it, it'll move up, and then suddenly you have no scan lines from that drone. So here again, I have a comparison video for each of these steps, and we can go through it and look at the changes. And of course, test them, please, and give feedback. So the first one here is the rotation speed. You can see the new one is definitely faster, which will make it trickier to avoid as a survivor. Not impossible, because you can still crouch or stop moving when the scan line would go over you, and then that way you don't get detected. But yeah. And then the next one that you saw was the drone collision detection with the killer. As you can see, we'll play it again, but as you can see in the video, you could get really up close. This is the power cooldown and undetectable changes. As you can see in the new video, you can place your drones much sooner than in the previous iteration. And I'm sorry, I stopped way too early in that new video, but you get the point. I could deploy drones much faster than in the previous one. And here on the left, you can see the Dwight is fast vaulting the pallet, and the drone, first of all, you can notice that it won't scan you because the scan line is white. That's how you know if it will scan you. And then on the right...
Yeah, we added that a long time ago.
Yeah, UX. And you can see on the right, it turns orange when I'm fast vaulting because it will detect me during that time. And then this is finally what I was talking about. As you can see on the left side, Dwight will get the claw trap instantly from staying under the drone. And on the right, you can see you have the scan feedback that you would get from a scan line, which is telling you it's building up. And then after the 3 stacks have been reached, you get the claw trap. So I'm going to go back really quickly to just show the drone killer detection part, because I think it was very quick. It's just after this one. So if you pay attention to the left, the Skull Merchant gets not even that close to the drone, and it goes up. And then the right one, you can actually see the model up close and look at the details, and it will not go up until you are literally underneath it. And I think it's a small change, but I think it'll be really helpful in maneuvering around your own power, which I think is, it's important for a killer to be able to play around their power. Right. And the next thing, I forgot about this slide. The next thing that I wanted to talk about was to do a follow-up on the design preview. So as you know, we had a design preview with beautiful stick figures, that I drew myself, about the Skull Merchant and our plans with her and what we would like to do and all that stuff. And we gathered a lot of feedback. So we took that feedback and we made changes to the proposal that we had last. And we went through the process of scoping the proposed design. And what scoping is that each of the departments look at the design, and we identify the tasks that are required, and then we see how many man days are required to complete that design.
How many Mandy's?
I knew it. I knew you were going to say something.
Man days.
I'm
man
days.
In its current form, it is bigger than anticipated from a technical standpoint. There's a lot of technicalities in the way that it needs to be built, and we're busting our budget, basically, in terms of like man days that we can afford. So, what's next? Well, we have identified portions of the design that we could change, whether that's cutting it, whether that's, making them smaller. So we have a plan. However, we ask ourselves, what if the small tweaks that we do in the next PTB bring her to a good enough spot where players are happy and, we see that it helps her in terms of kill rate and DC rate and all that, like that's something we have to consider. So assuming that the next PTB goes well and that those changes are well received and that, you know, everything is good, we could use the resources for other more pressing matters. What those are, I'm not sure, because those are discussions that happen outside of my expertise, but that is a possibility. And again, I want to remind you, you know, these are going in the next PTB, and I think it's really important to share feedback, how you feel about it, if you think it's too strong, too weak. Any feedback is good, as long as it's constructive, of course. And then, sorry, did you want to?
Well, I was just going to say, the chat was a perfect summary of the Skull Merchant conversation. While you're going through it, very well received by a number of people. So I'd see about 5 dubs, followed by, no one likes Skull Merchant, which you're both right. You know, you're both living your own realities, and that's right to you. It's your truth. But this is, again, what I'm trying to point out, our designers have to find the balance between these two extremes.
Yes, and, and if I can build upon that, you know, any killer update that we do from a design standpoint or game standpoint, it comes with risks, right? We have a dedicated fan base for the Skull Merchant, and they love her as she is, and they would really like her to stay as close as possible to what she currently is. And that's very fair and valid. And then on the other end, you have players who absolutely do not like her. Mm-hmm. And with an update, we have the goal of pleasing as many people as we can, but there is a risk that we miss our mark. And so then we have, you know, pissed off and lost all the dedicated Skull Merchant mains, but we've also not achieved our goal of bringing more people in. Yeah. So that's why we're looking at our options based on the feedback that we'll get. And of course, when we know more, we will let you guys know. Right. And then you may have remembered, or you may remember, that we also had another design preview, this time for the Trickster. And that one kind of, you know, happened and sort of like went radio silent. And I want to apologize on behalf of the entire team, but I do have an update. So it's not exactly as it was in that design preview. It has been updated to be stronger, better. But his update is in active development. And it brings him to the next level. I really think that his kit is being elevated by this update, and it will be very visually cool, which is, you know, very thematic because he's also very cool. And
he's a murderer, Jeff.
They can be cool.
Yeah, they can be cool. Yeah.
Go on.
Well,
go on. I'm sorry.
Anyway, and to my last point that I just said about the Skull Merchant is that it aims to please longtime Trickster players and invite others to try him out. I think there were some very key points in our design preview for Trickster that longtime Trickster players really, really liked. And so I'm not going to go into details because we'll have plenty more opportunities to talk about it. But it really has the goal of, you know, keeping those things that Trickster players like while also introducing some really cool stuff for people to, you know, be interested in trying him out.
Hell yeah.
I think that's it for me. I don't want to go next because I don't know if there's a spoiler afterwards.
Yeah, just stay there.
Okay.
I think
I'll stay there.
Yeah.
No more clicker for me.
I get one. I get to do one. I get to do one in this update in this section. So there is something that you know, throughout the year we've been talking about quality of life and delivered some beautiful things from UX and stuff like that. But it's clearer and clearer with each update. The real focus people want is on bugs. Mm-hmm. I think that's clear. And what we have been talking about is a way to make that more effective, to know which are the biggest bugs, which are the ones most desired to be fixed in priority order. These are things, because right now people shout them across our various social channels. We try to grab them like butterflies and send them to the QA team.
Nice metaphor. They are bugs. Yeah. You can have
Bugs,
yeah. Mods.
I meant that. So we are going to be going live with a new tool from our friends at a place called Beta Hub. Mm-hmm. There are some lovely Polish gentlemen. And it's going to allow the community to report bugs to us. It'll connect directly to our, I won't say Jira, our Jira tracking system.
Just said it.
We're not going to quote you on that, don't you worry.
And one of the coolest features of this tool that I'm a nerd about is you can also report the bugs via Discord. So if you're in the Discord, we talked about it earlier with Mandy, we're going to look to find new things we can bring to the DBD Discord. You see a bug in the game, you just type it into a place in your Discord, and it will generate a bug report that goes into the tool, that goes to our, I won't say Jira, tracking system. And it's really fucking cool. And so for me, it's a really big thing I'm excited about. Obviously, it's a boring, nerdy thing maybe, but I'm excited about it because it's going to really help us focus on the most impactful bugs, which I think is what people want. So that was my thing I got to, they let me say. So,
Very exciting.
thank you all so much for joining us. I think that over there, Mandy has gathered a few questions that I did not shout out while everyone was oohing and awing over Papi Diego.
Hey, I must say, everything that I bring to the table, by the way, is thanks to my team. Not
amazing
only
team,
me, it's
yes.
my UX team, but also all the collaboration of the game design team or
Absolutely.
department. So
Teamwork
We
makes
have a
the dream work.
fantastic team.
yeah. Puppy team. That's not puppy.
Team Papi. Okay, so I'm just going to read this because I haven't pre-read it. So here we go. How will this impact the competitive scene, the anti-camp, tunnel, slug features?
Am I answering this?
I suppose so.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a really good question. And the answer, sorry, my mic is a little bit, okay. The answer is that all these can be turned off in custom matches, which is usually where the comp scene performs their matches. So, if you want to keep the unhook protections for your particular tournament or competition, you can do that. If you want to keep the bloodlust but turn off the rest, you could do that. So you really have the ability to turn them on or off to your desire, basically.
Okie dokie. Thank you, Jeff. This is another one for you, I believe. With the Bloodlust T1 on the tunneling solution, does this get lost when the killer will break a breakable wall or break a nearby pallet?
Yeah, so the way that the Bloodlust bonus works at the moment is that it will turn off if you enter a chase. It will turn off if you break a pallet or a wall, or if you use your power. So it's really, use it for mobility, and I guess the rest is up to you.
All right. I think this is another one for you. Sorry. Will the unhook effects work with cages?
I'm assuming that's a question about executioner cages.
Maybe to be.
Yes.
Oh, to execution. Okay.
Yes. I think right now they might. I would have to check. I'm not actually sure. God, I'm so sorry. I
fine.
generally do not
It's a
remember.
live show. I told them this is, we're just to get the good with the.
because
Oh, that's good.
because we did add endurance and haste to executioner cages in the past. So I think that there's a possibility that it's also applied there, but I would have to double check just to be sure.
Let's find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out for you and get back to you. Pallets are getting a lot of attention. There's so many on some maps, and it's really hard on M1 killers. Are there any plans to address this? I'm going to answer this one.
That's why I was waiting. It's like, there must be a thing where we're asking about
It's been a
pallets.
long show, folks. Yes, so actually, if you follow our channels, just yesterday or the day before, we did a big discussion thread about the pallet density topic on the forums as well as Reddit, and we really, really want people to go there to outline everything that you find is problematic so we can then fully tackle the topic. That discussion is going to be up until after the weekend, so you've got time. Don't need to do it right now. But yeah, we're gathering all that feedback as we speak. And then final one, which you kind of addressed, but we should repeat it. Are these buffs that you just went through for Skull Merchant in place of her rework?
So they are not. However, if they end up having like a good outcome for her where players are satisfied, because again, I need to remind everyone, like, everything that we do is for the players, and so if the players are happy, then we're happy. And I think that's the goal. So if we put those changes in the next PTB and players are happy and the feedback that we get is positive, that's a good first step. And I think the next step after that would be to look at the data, right? Because player feedback is one thing, but the data is another. So if everyone, says that she's for example, super strong, but the data just says that she's not, then there's probably something where we need to reconcile the two. But the next step would be to look at the data. And then I think after that, we could probably make a better decision about the next steps. But ultimately, it really comes down to the feedback that we get. If it's really, really positive and you guys are happy, then we're happy.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Jeff. All right, so this has gone very long, and we still have one more person to come out. So we are going to wrap up this segment now. Thank you all so much. This has gone quite well. I appreciate the PowerPoint especially.
Thank you.
And the chat, the folks at home seem to be having a good time. So really, really, really glad we could do this. Exactly what I wanted for this stream. So thank you for making it happen. We're going to take a very quick break, and we're going to come back with a very quick wrap up with someone else you haven't met, and I won't spoil it. So let's go do that.
See you later.
See you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Oh, hey, hello, we're back. As I said, we're going to wrap up, but before we do, another new face for the show, someone we work with a lot. Her name is Ann Dow. She's our director of merch and other things. And we wanted to have you on because you've been doing a bunch of changes on the merch store, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. So we started 2 months ago, and we've revamped the whole store. It's just a start, but we've brought a lot of new things, a lot of improvements. If you haven't, go check it out. It looks amazing, and it's really just the beginning. We've bought also new products. You have gift cards available,
Nice.
referral program, and again, we're working on it for the next month. It's been just 3 months, but we're super excited, and we're going to give a lot of love to that merch store.
Yeah, and I know you're cooking up a lot. You brought a couple samples, as they say in the biz.
Samples, yeah.
Couple samples to show here in case you haven't checked out the merch store in a while.
So we've released Sinister Grace, of course, so we have a really cool t-shirt. I don't know how.
Let's see if we can get a camera too. Yeah.
Ooh, that looks good.
So if you follow the live stream really well, you probably have seen it on the very first photo of Gamescom Asia because it was available there.
Yep.
And if you did not get the chance to fly to Thailand, you can get it on the merch store.
It's a fantastic shirt. I
Yeah.
love it. And the script at the bottom too is really cool.
Yeah.
It's next to me, so it's
You're
coming
you're
home
keeping
with
it?
me.
Good luck with that. And then this is a lenticular.
Look at it. It's magic.
This is really, really cool. So you can see the two key arts with the Krazu. And it's really dope. I know Mandy want to go home with it. So yeah, you can
We'll be
get it on
fighting
merch store as
after.
well. But so we're trying to bring new type of products and
Yeah.
things that are super excited, and this is really just the beginning.
And you're also looking for people to suggest ideas if they have merch types or
Yeah.
whatever that they would love to see.
Yeah.
Love to see kind of.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah.
We'll take a look at it. We'll be happy to see if it works, if it's an interesting idea. But really, we're reworking everything. So now is the time to come up with suggestions.
And I think, where did the clicker go?
Here.
If we go back to the PowerPoint, we can also show what we have for Halloween Haunted by Daylight merch.
So that's the second bit I wanted to share with you. We have some items for Halloween. It's limited edition, so it's available only until November 3rd. We have a really cool tracksuit.
Yeah.
Very loud. I love it. But, you know, we're really trying to bring new stuff. You also have posters. You can have a nice frame around it because the team did a fantastic job with this key art. We really loved it and wanted to come up with a line. Give you a chance to have it at home.
I love it. I love the reactions to it. It is loud. That's
Too loud?
a perfect way to describe it.
Honestly, if we had it, I would have loved to rock it.
Yeah,
today.
right?
Yeah.
I was hoping I could get one too.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much. As I said, merch isn't always changing things, so happy to have you back as these shows progress too and show us more cool things. Thank you, Andao.
Yep, a lot of exciting things coming up the next month.
Oh, yes.
And check out the Halloween sale as well.
Okay, yes. And there, yeah, she's got something cooking up you definitely want to wait for. All right, so no more transitions. We're not going to do it. We've taken a lot of your time. Hopefully this was enjoyable for you. It went the way I wanted it to go. So thank you for sticking with us through the last couple hours, and thank you to all of our guests. We've had so many, which is, again, sort of the point, to have a bunch of people on. So I hope you had a good time. We're just going to wrap up here. A reminder, the next 2v8 is...
November the 6th.
Correct. You passed the test. PTB is the same week, a couple days before it, on November the 4th. This is all planned dates. Things can always change, but that's the plan. And we mentioned at the beginning of the show about the Galaxies drop that did not drop. You can use a promo code with the word Galaxies, all one word, to earn that drop that we showed earlier. And there was one last update we wanted to give because we know people have been asking about it. We meant to cover it earlier and we missed it in the excitement of this first show. People are wondering what's the deal with the Frank Stone skin.
The skin is unfortunately not coming.
No, but we just want to reassure you, we still have plans to bring Frank Stone to the Fog. We're just revisiting how we want to approach Frank's integration into the game. So stay tuned, we'll have more to share in the future.
So maybe not a skin, but maybe something else.
Maybe something.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll see.
Well, that's a great cliffhanger to end on. If you haven't played it, Frank Stone, by the way, is on Game Pass.
It is indeed.
The casting of Frank Stone. Sorry, I should use the full.
Yeah.
Some people might think I'm talking about a person.
Yeah, we're so used to
the
seeing
full
Frank
name.
Stone.
Yeah, on Game Pass if you happen to be a Game Pass subscriber, which is great. All right, as I said, this has been a long show. Thank you, everyone that participated. Dork especially, thank you.
Yeah.
You don't know the amount of work that she has done behind the scenes to make
amounts.
this happen for real. Let's wrap it up. So thanks everybody. We'll
Can I just
Yes,
say
please,
one
please,
more thing? And a
please.
big thank you to the mods for
Oh, God,
being
yes.
in the chat
Great
and
mods.
just
Thank you.
taking care of everything in chat. Thank you.
Absolutely. Dork, did you want to say anything before we sign off?
Yes, I did. I wanted to come back and say about the cosmetic contest.
Oh yeah.
So we're in our next one, in the next community thing we're going to be doing in November. We're going to be showcasing a roadmap so you can see when those cosmetic winners will be entering the Rift, coming into the game. I think that's a really important thing for you to be able to see, especially for our winners, when they can experience their thing coming into the Fog, as well as when things are coming into the store with Artists of the Fog. So make sure you're coming to the November one so that you can see that. And also for all of our current winners, we did send them what they could expect to see in changes. Other than one, I'm still working on it. But other than that, everyone's got their changes that are going to be made to their cosmetics. I also want to reiterate that this is a purchasing of their concepts. It's not a collaboration. As much as we really want it to be a collaborative effort where we're scheduling calls to check in and, see how they feel about this piece being there and stuff. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of time zones, and it's just not something we can do at this time. But what we can do is provide those winners with images of how we're doing, and also with videos of how it's moving within the fog. So we're going to try to do that moving forward. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew about that. Yes, Flower of Life Hattie is coming. Don't worry. I want her in the vlog too. Don't worry. But yes, so that's another cliffhanger that you can lean on until our next one.
Beautiful and great work. I mentioned a lot of work going into the stream. Dork also put a lot of work, along with Andre, who's not here, into the contest itself. A lot goes into doing those things. There's a lot of legal stuff. So just thank you, thank you, thank you. We improve it each year, and so we can do so again next year. So thank you to everyone who participated in the contest too, by the way. Just amazing art. But again, I'm going to do the full wrap up now because everyone's falling asleep. Goodbye. We will see you next time. Thank you for hanging out. This was great.
Oh, was that it?
That's it. Sorry. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.